Hello everybody, this is Dr. Novak and welcome to my channel. Um, as my channel begins to grow and getting close to 13,000 individuals that subscribe to it, I wanted to actually, with this video, instead of just talk about fish, I wanted to talk about a lot of people asking questions on a constant basis. Some people, the same people, are asking questions almost every single video I put out and things like that. I talked to another YouTuber, which is very popular. He said, you need to get a Patreon. And a Patreon is going to stop people from the repetitive questions or that they're constantly asked. And that's what I wanted to bring up in this video. Should I start a Patreon? I don't have a Patreon. And of course, a lot of YouTubes, I talked to a couple of them, said, well, we use that money to buy equipment. I said, yeah, I had to buy a new microphone, stuff like that. That's $300-400 for, microphone. Then you have to buy the boom for the microphone. And then you have to buy a converter box for voltage, 48 volt. I said, all this costs money out of my pocket. He said, well, we use a Patreon to pay for stuff like that. Improve cameras, improve microphones, stuff like that, lighting. I said, yeah, I can't do all that. I don't make anything off of YouTube. Everybody knows that. You don't really make anything off YouTube. It'd be nice if Elon Musk would start a YouTube where he says he'll pay 10% more than YouTube will for Twitter. But that's, I guess, in the future. I guess the point I'm making here is sometimes I talk to people, sometimes I converse with people bi-weekly basis with emails and stuff like that. And this all takes time. And I understand people have a lot of questions. And of course, I don't do videos of sitting there on a Sunday night with a question and answer, but I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of questions. And I was thinking of, and I want to throw this out to the people who watch me, kind of have a more of an open door, because not only do I do fish, I watch audiophile, and I see a lot of these audiophile YouTube stations that they also have Patreons also. It's almost like everybody has Patreon that, you have to pay. And I've been doing all this for free, but getting so many people, it's almost like you're being bombarded now because people wind up taking advantage of you trying to answer all their questions. And I was thinking that they have like 3 tiers of Patreon or just 1 tier. In other words, you only pay so much per month. And that way you can email me directly, or you can even call me. Like have a Patreon where if somebody needs something, that at least once a month, they can even give me a call if they want to talk to me. There's a lot of people on my channel that have called me and given me their phone numbers and things like that. And we've sat, on the phone. Sometimes it's been well over an hour talking about different things, what their tank is, what I'm doing, this, that, because now they're on the phone and they can ask direct questions without trying to write everything down and having lengthy replies that I can then just answer them right on the phone saying, I'm having this problem or that problem, or I'm not having a problem, or any problems that you may have. Some people don't have a problem at all. They just want to discuss something that they're doing. Doesn't mean they have a problem or an idea. They want to bounce it off of you just to see, hey, before I do this, does this sound logical? Because sometimes, things sound logical and then they're kind of like, no, that's not really, going to work. And of course, a lot of people will come up with ideas of different substrates and things to use. Like this is like vermiculite or something. Don't use vermiculite at all. Don't even use it. But they may, to them, and they're thinking using vermiculite. Why not? It sounds like a great substrate, or it could be added into BCB basket or something. No, vermiculite doesn't work. It's just going to cause cyanobacteria and all kinds of algae problems. But a lot of people sometimes, if you can get to talk to them on a one-to-one, that's what they want. So I'm thinking about starting a Patreon. Maybe I'm not going to have all kinds of tier levels. I'm thinking maybe just one tier level. This will weed out some of the people I know that, but because they may want a cheap one. But some of these cheap Patreons, you really don't get anything, or they got a second tier level where you can be notified, but you can get notified from videos coming out just by hitting subscribe and then hitting the bell to let you know when a new video comes out. And I don't make private videos, okay, just so you can show people a private video. I don't make private videos, okay? I make videos for everybody, and I don't want to go that route, private videos. But I was thinking that, well, emails, I'm sure people want to email. I'm sure people would like to talk. I've even had people who subscribed to my channel who actually, when they came down to Florida, actually have visited me and talked for several hours when they were on vacation or something. These privileges can be extended out to a lot of people that would like to maybe talk to you and discuss what they're doing, how they're doing it. Sometimes over the phone, it's more comfortable for them because then they can tell you everything that's going on, and I could then ask questions. So that is another idea I had, because some people don't know if they're doing something wrong, and they have no clue because they could be a beginner, or maybe not even a beginner. I get a lot of people who said, I was in this back in the 80s and I got out of it and I'm back into it. I've talked to some real nice people all over the country who, on the phone, that handicapped people who have problems now and going into fish tanks because it's something that appealed to them because they do have a handicap. This should be good to help people out so they just don't wind up spending their money. A lot of people don't have a lot of money. They only have so much money to spend on an aquarium, and they want to make sure they do it right because they are, pigeonholed into an expense. They don't have an unlimited supply of wherewithals to buy everything and anything out there. So I'm thinking about doing that, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to make this video. You guys give me some feedback. What do you think? Just make a Patreon, because a lot of people are asking questions. It's nice. I don't ask really questions when I go. If I see another YouTube, I usually don't ask questions. I usually say, hey, great video, I liked it, blah, blah, blah. I usually don't ask questions, if someone does a video. I just make a nice comment and leave it at that. Or if I don't leave a comment, I'll just give them a thumbs up. Hey, I thought it was a great video. I thought you had great information. If someone does a good job, has good information, I maybe leave a comment and say, hey, thumbs up. You gave some pretty good information, there. If it's bad information, I don't go on their channels and say, hey, you're all wrong. No, I'm not that way. I don't do that. If they give out bad information or anything. Nope, that's not my job. I'm not the aquarium police out there. There is a lot of misinformation and things that people make comments on. One person just recently made a comment So I'm supposed to listen to somebody that has parrotfish, and I'm thinking to myself, what are you talking about? Parrotfish are a hybrid fish, yeah, but so are angels, so are goldfish, so are flower horn fish. How many fish haven't been hybrid in this trade? There are so many of them that we have. Anything that has a very long flowing fin, that's just a hybrid of a one that had shark fins that have been interbred to have that characteristic of long flowing fins. It's a hybrid. And you're keeping something that's not anything like the wild type of fish. So, a comment like that didn't make a lot of sense to me, since all the goldfish that are out there are hybrids. You know, even the comet. The comet came from the United States, and it first came around from Washington, D.C., from their ponds in Washington, D.C., where they came out with the comet. So it's a hybrid. And all these fish are hybrids of carp. So once the carp changes and you keep breeding it, it's a hybrid. So I couldn't understand why he made a big deal out of, okay, you have parrotfish. Why would I listen to you? The problem is a lot of people have parrotfish. And it's not my judgment call. If you want a hybrid fish, or you want one of these fish that glow in the dark, it's not my judgment call to tell you what you want and what you like. Okay, if that's what you like, and that's a product that's out there and you like it, okay, I don't see anything wrong with it, because we have lots of hybrid animals out there. And even in nature, animals will interbreed and make a hybrid, even in nature. So hybrids exist, and we're just going to have to accept the fact that just because we may not like it, nobody's going to stop doing it. Because if there's a market for it, like, let's say, the flower horn or something, nobody's going to stop just because you don't like it. So we got to work around it. These different hybrids, or Oscars that have big, long fins. Oscars don't come that way. We have Oscars here in Florida in our waterways where, like a game fish. None of them come with big, long fin. That's a hybrid, okay? So, but that's not me to judge. If that's what you like, okay. We should help each other out, not criticize somebody just because they got a hybrid fish. So I'm thinking of Patreon. I want your advice, what you think. Maybe if I had a Patreon, what would you like? Is it a good idea that maybe at least once a month, if you needed to make a phone call, you can make a phone call to me? A lot of people feel uncomfortable about emails. You could privately email me, and you're guaranteed to get a answer. Where now, since I do a video, a lot of people are asking questions of old videos that all they have to do is look at the archives, and you're going to get everything about how to make an aquarium, how to do. I got over 300 plus videos in the archives, but I understand that some people don't want to go back, or they don't remember something, or maybe they don't understand something that I had a video on. So I understand that a Patreon maybe would become a little more personal for people, where they would like to have privately email and stuff like that, because I can't answer. I guess everybody has noticed. A lot of times I've had people make on comments said, well, I asked you, and I'm a subscriber to you, and you haven't answered me. Really, they've said that. It's like, yeah, but you're not the only one asking questions. And if you slip through the net, no matter how fine the weave of the net, something always manages to get through. If you slip through the cracks, I'm sorry, but trying to answer everybody is hard to do, because I do other things in my life, that require my attention. There's 100 lakes and ponds here in Florida that I live at and deal with things like that. More than just what I'm dealing with you. There's a lot of other things I'm doing in my life that I'm dealing with, plus taking care of my fish tanks. But uh, let me know. I'll close it with that. Let me know what you think. You think I should now open up a Patreon? Because I'm kind of being told I should, because they said you can update your equipment, you can make money, and that money could be going towards your equipment. Because I did say, wow, the microphone I bought was over $200 because people kept bitching about my microphones. Well, I've had over 6 different microphones. And when I asked people about this new one, everyone's saying, oh yeah, it sounds good. It's a $200 microphone. It was a very highly rated microphone, but that was only the tip of the iceberg. Now you have to buy the boom, you have to buy this, you have to buy the cable that goes through. All that costs money. Money that, I'm not making. So let me know if you think it's why, because everybody else is doing it. I can't answer everybody's questions, but maybe with the Patreon, I could say, hey, you want your questions answered? Go to my Patreon, donate to that, and I can answer your questions on a personal basis if you want. Then you have the right to keep asking questions, because I'm only looking at it as I don't do that on other people's channels. I don't ask questions. I only make a comment of, that was nice information you gave, thumbs up. I learned a lot from what you said, but I don't ask them questions. Well, what about this? Because it takes time for people to answer all those questions, especially if you're starting to get up to thousands and thousands and thousands of people like I have. Now you're going up to 13,000 people. That's a lot of people, watching your channel who'd probably like to ask questions that maybe they're not getting the answers from other YouTube stations. Or maybe there's something they see on a YouTube station and they would like to say, hey, I saw this, but I'm getting conflicting information. And I think on a one-to-one basis, that would be helpful to people. And then if I take the time out and have to answer you, at least I'm making something to do that. So let me know in the comments if you think I should start a Patreon station. I don't think I'm going to do 3 tiers or any. I think I'm just going to have 1 tier. And this will give you the privilege of whatever they give, plus emails, plus even a phone call once a month that you can personally call me and we can talk about your aquarium. We can talk about your fish. We can talk about, a lot of times people, one guy called about trying to get information. He wanted to find out the information he got was correct from a store owner. I said, yeah, the information you got was correct, but I would also do this, And then he contacted me and said, well, if I'm using an air stone, do I need a pump? And I said, no. If you use an air stone, you don't need a pump, because the air stone's going to circulate, what we were talking about, circulate enough to keep things moving constantly. So that's it, and he could save a lot of money, where maybe a fish store or a pet store would, oh yeah, you need this because they're going to sell something to you. But so he did it, and it's working out fine for him, and he got rid of his problem. So let me know in the comments what you think, if it's worth my time and trouble to even start a Patreon kind of thing, because a lot of people also, with the experiment with the pothos, oh, you ought to do this, or you ought to do this, or you ought to change this. Well, I like doing that kind of stuff. It's fun, but it all takes time and money. It all takes time and money that I don't have. Okay, it just doesn't exist. So that's why a lot of people don't do it, because it takes time and it takes money. And without the money, you can't do much of anything. So until next time, this is Dr. Novak, happy fish keeping, and thank you for watching.